U.S. President Donald Trump is threatening 100% tariffs on Canadian goods if the federal government goes through with a new trade deal with China.
We're following breaking news on the tensions between Canada and the United States. U.S. President Donald Trump has abruptly reversed course on a new trade relationship between Canada and China. Trump had previously supported the recently signed deal, but now he's making fresh tariff threats over that very agreement.
Breaking news coming up. Donald Trump has just threatened Canada with a 100% tariff on all Canadian goods, a move that could shake trade across North America. This is not a routine trade warning. This is not diplomatic pressure. This is a full-scale economic threat, delivered publicly, without negotiation, and without precedent between two countries that have spent decades calling each other allies. Donald Trump didn't announce a policy framework. He didn't outline conditions. He didn't open talks. He went straight to the nuclear option. A blanket 100% tariff on everything Canada sends into the United States. And the reason matters. This threat did not come after a security breach. It did not come after a treaty violation. It did not come after Canada broke any trade rule. It came after Canada stopped behaving like a dependent partner. Trump's message was clear. If Canada acts independently, it will be punished. According to Trump's statement, if Canada continues expanding trade cooperation outside Washington's control, particularly with China and other global partners, the United States will respond by making Canadian goods unaffordable overnight. That is not trade policy. That is coercion. For decades, Canada accepted a simple reality. Stay close to the U.S. market. Absorb pressure quietly. Avoid public confrontation. That arrangement worked as long as Washington acted predictably. But predictability ended. Under Trump, tariffs became weapons, trade deals became threats, alliances became leverage tools, and Canada, like many U.S. partners, learned a hard lesson. Dependence equals vulnerability. That's the context Trump doesn't want discussed. Because Canada didn't suddenly change. The environment did. Canada has been diversifying trade, expanding relationships, building alternatives, not to attack the U.S., but to protect itself from exactly this kind of shock. And now that strategy is being tested. Trump's 100% tariff threat is designed to do one thing: force submission through fear. But here's the problem. Fear only works when there are no options. And Canada has options now. What makes this threat even more revealing is Trump's own recent statements. Just days earlier, he openly said countries should pursue their own trade interests. He even praised partners for making deals where they could. Nothing changed in Canada's actions. What changed was Canada's posture. At Davos, Prime Minister Mark Carney spoke plainly. He didn't insult. He didn't attack. He didn't even name Trump. He talked about a world where economic pressure is used as a weapon and warned that middle powers can no longer rely on a single dominant partner. That speech landed. Not in Ottawa, in Washington. Because it exposed something Trump tries to hide. Tariffs are not strength. They're leverage used when influence is slipping. And Trump's reaction confirms it. A confident leader negotiates. A panicked leader threatens. The scale of the threat also matters. 100% tariffs are not targeted corrections. They are designed to shut down trade completely. Canadian agriculture, manufacturing, energy, auto parts, all would be hit instantly. Millions of jobs on both sides of the border would feel the shock. This isn't pressure on Canada alone. American consumers would pay more. American companies would lose suppliers. U.S. factories relying on Canadian inputs would face disruption. But Trump is betting something else matters more. Control. For years, Washington assumed Canada had nowhere else to go. That assumption no longer holds. Canada has been building resilience quietly. New trade routes, new partners, domestic investment. Industrial policy focused on self-reliance. And instead of backing down, Canada responded to the threat by doubling down on that strategy. Not with angry statements, not with counter threats, with action. Carney's response focused on one idea: control what you can control. Invest at home. Buy domestic. Build domestic. Reduce exposure. That message wasn't for Trump, it was for Canadians. Because when a country strengthens its internal economy, external pressure loses power. This is the part Trump's approach consistently misses. Tariffs punish both sides. But they punish the dependent side more. Canada is actively reducing that dependence. And that's what triggered the escalation. Trump's threat also exposed a deeper contradiction. The U.S. itself routinely negotiates trade deals, adjusts tariffs, and protects domestic industries. When Canada does the same, it's framed as betrayal. That double standard isn't lost on anyone watching. Allies are paying attention. Other middle powers are paying attention. Because if a country as integrated and cooperative as Canada can be threatened this openly, no partner is safe from economic intimidation. And that's why this moment matters beyond North America. This isn't just about tariffs, it's about how power is used. Trump believes economic pressure forces obedience. Canada is testing whether resilience makes pressure irrelevant. The old model said smaller partners comply to maintain access. The new reality says partners diversify to survive unpredictability. That shift terrifies leaders who rely on dominance, which is why the threat was loud, public, dramatic. But threats also reveal weakness. If Canada truly had no leverage, no alternatives, no independence, there would be no need for a 100% tariff warning. Trump wouldn't threaten what he wasn't afraid of losing. This is not the behavior of a leader in control. It's the behavior of someone watching influence slip. Canada hasn't closed doors. It hasn't walked away from the US. It hasn't escalated. It simply stopped asking for permission, and that is the real break from the past. For decades, Canada measured success by access to Washington. Now, it's measuring success by resilience against pressure from anywhere. That doesn't mean confrontation, it means choice.